Hello everyone and welcome to Smashi Business Show. Today is Friday, October 17, 2025 and I'm Abdul Majid Awan.
And I'm Ward Ahmed and we've got some exciting stories to discuss today. First up, Dubai's fixed dessert Chocolatier has ditched Deliveroo for an exclusive partnership with Careem. G42 is speeding up work on Stargate UAE AI cluster, and the Crown Prince has launched King Salman Gate project near Makkah's Grand Mosque, and it's expected to create over 300,000 jobs in the kingdom. And the UAE's largest listed firm, International Holding Company, is to merge 3 units into a 120 billion dirham investment giant.
Yeah, and we didn't have the discussion with Worth. We had it with Parth yesterday, but how was Expand North Star for you, Worth?
Expand North Star, honestly, it was. I think that it was a really nice summit. It was really nice to see all the love that you guys had for Smashi business.
Yeah.
I think for me, what particularly stood out to me about the summit, more than the fact that they're hosting over 1,000 startups, and over how gigantic it is and how difficult it is to walk in between each hall. I remember I went to hall 1 and I did not even realize that you could actually go upstairs.
Yeah.
This is how ginormous it is. So I'm excited for the fact that next year, hopefully, they're going to be hosted in Expo. And I think that's going to be better for us all. I think it's going to be better for the traffic, and it's going to be nice to be around both conferences, GITEX and North Star at the same time. But I think for me, what stood out to me the most is the conversation around tech. I would say I've gone to a lot of summits this year, and no tech conversation has honestly intrigued me more than the one that happened at Expand North Star, because it's one thing to hear that the UAE is forging ahead with all of these, tech projects, but it's another thing to actually see how they're employing it.
Yeah.
The amount of people that are going into these projects, the amount of livelihoods. The G42 HR officer saying that we hire almost 1,000 people a month.
Yeah.
I mean, do you know how crazy that is? You have all of these Western tech CEOs saying that they're slashing jobs, and you're hearing that almost 1,000 people are being hired in G42. I think about that a lot, and I think that, look, I always hear people talking about AI, but you never hear them talking about it with such respect. Like it's as if it's like a living thing that is embodying a human that everyone is respecting so much, which I think for me was probably the most interesting thing, the fact that these plans are real. They're not just headlines.
Yeah.
It's not just some made up ideal or utopia. It is actually happening, and it is coming, and we're going to see so many projects in the future.
Yeah, and talking about G42, it's such a big giant, and to be honest, it was there, but it emerged into the news like in the last 2 years. No one ever even thought about it, talked about it, but it was just a sudden growth spurt for G42 that they came to the fore, and everyone now talks about it. It's an AI Abu Dhabi giant which has so many companies under it: Core 42, Space 42, everything with Space 42.
They call it a G42 company.
Yeah, Presight is there. There's so many companies under it, and all of them are doing good. They're all into some specialized industry where they're working. So it's great to see this. But yeah, Expand North Star was great. It ended day before yesterday. Today is the last day of GITEX. So if you're missing out, just go there. Try to get 1 or 2 hours in. Go to the main spots because it's going to be crowded last day, so everyone would want to have a piece of it. But let's move on to our stories for the day. Dubai's viral dessert brand Fixed Dessert Chocolatier is moving exclusively to Careem, ending its long-standing partnership with Deliveroo. The move marks a major shift for one of Dubai's most talked about homegrown dessert brands, known for its social media virality and cult following across the UAE.
Now, in addition, founder Sarah Hamouda has been appointed Careem's first ever chief chocolate officer, as the original Dubai chocolate becomes available on the platform officially starting October 20th. Now, this partnership gives Careem a competitive edge as it expands its super app ecosystem in the region's fast-growing food delivery sector.
And until now, Fix was exclusively tied to Deliveroo, but following DoorDash's £2.9 billion acquisition of the platform, shifts in delivery partnerships and brand strategies are reshaping the UAE's on-demand economy, making Careem's latest deal both strategic and symbolic of a changing regional marketplace.
Now founded in 2021, the brand began when Sarah Hamouda's craving for kunafa-flavored chocolate inspired her to create her own recipe at home. Now that single craving has sparked a business that rapidly grew into one of Dubai's, if not Dubai's most successful dessert ventures, combining creativity, branding, and digital storytelling in a move that we have never seen before.
And by 2024, Fix had amassed over 600 million TikTok views, becoming one of the Middle East's most viral dessert brands. Its partnership with Careem signals a new phase for the company and possibly the start of more exclusive platform deals between brands and delivery apps across the region, and most probably a bigger window to order Fix chocolate now as well, because with Deliveroo the window was, I think, 2 or 3 hours. So yeah, maybe a chance to scale now finally and increase production, because everyone wants it even now.
Really, you know what I honestly think about all of this? Obviously, we've seen how DoorDash has acquired Deliveroo. DoorDash is an American company. Deliveroo, I believe, is a British company.
Yeah.
And, that might have to do with it, but, nothing is confirmed here. But honestly, if I were to, predict and theorize and understand why this happened now, it may be because of Deliveroo's fees. Because Deliveroo, if you actually use the app, you would realize that most of the restaurants that are on it are usually high-end restaurants. They're usually high-end restaurants. They're usually products that are on the more expensive side. And, I think that Careem, it does still have that much more aesthetic look than Talabat. By the way, out of all the apps, the app with the most market share, with the most users, is Talabat.
Yeah.
It's Talabat, and then it's actually Careem, and then Deliveroo. But the one performing the best, even revenue-wise, is Talabat, and then it's Deliveroo. So I think it's an interesting choice for her to go with Careem. I don't think it's because they made her chief chocolate officer. I really don't think that's why she signed that contract.
It's just a nice marketing play, but the main thing for me is it's two homegrown brands. Careem is Dubai grown. Fix chocolate, obviously Dubai grown because it's called the Dubai chocolate. So it's such a nice story that two homegrown brands have come together. Deliveroo is not homegrown, but Deliveroo has been here. It's one of the starters of the quick commerce and delivery platforms. It was there before a lot of them. So it had legacy, but now it's just two homegrown brands coming together and delivering you the best chocolate that there is. In terms of the kunafa, the flavor that is most famous with Dubai chocolate, they have other flavors, but I don't think anything matches the original flavor. And if you're coming here and if you're trying it, the original one, try the original one and then go for the experimental other ones. But this is a very nice story in terms of that. Homegrown brands coming together to build a bigger audience, I think, to reach more audience also. And with Careem, I just hope they make the time longer for people to order it. That's just the demand.
I really do think it's a phase, because I think that right now what we're seeing with Fix is that they're clearly trying to scale.
Yeah.
And if you're trying to scale a brand, they're going to have a pop-up in Harrods. I'm sure everyone in England is going to be so obsessed.
You'll see long lines.
My aunt there, by the way, is obsessed with the Dubai viral chocolate, to the point that when it went trending, imagine, she was making it in her house. She was making it in her house, and she was telling me how she would love to taste the real one. So the second I got the news, I sent it to her on email. I'm like, listen up, it's coming to Harrods. Make sure to grab your own chocolate. But I think it's the fact that they're probably trying to scale, and I think that if you're with somebody like Deliveroo, I don't think that you want that to be a part of your high expenses. And I think it's good for them to balance that out, because I don't really think the consumers are thinking about how exclusively not how exclusively you're distributing it, but what app you're using. I really don't think so. But I think we'll see. We'll see if they add like that same, time window that they had between 2 to 6 p.m., I believe.
Which was announced earlier this year when Mr. Trump was here.
Now launched in partnership with OpenAI, Oracle, NVIDIA, Cisco.
build out strategy.
And according to
Build out strategy.
and according
Takes is happening.
so you're telling me by the time that I'm a graduate, UAE. Now, this particularly stood out to me. It particularly this changed my perspective a little bit there, but honestly, all of this, like, it's just wild.
Parth went to Gitex and he actually saw it. He told us about it yesterday that it's so big and it'll be built in 5 phases. And that this is the second biggest after the US. So Stargate UAE is the second biggest, but the original Stargate is going to be humongous. It's going to span across like thousands of square kilometers. So it's just a big project that everyone is excited about, and AI needs data centers to work. So let's see, hopefully whenever it's up and running, we'll go and we'll visit it.
Yes.
And we'll show you around.
Yes, we will. And another big show-up, groundbreaking project is the King Salman Gate project. So Saudi Crown Prince and Prime Minister Mohammed bin Salman has announced the launch of the King Salman Gate project, a mixed-use development set to rise adjacent to the Grand Mosque in Mecca. The landmark initiative will span 12 million square meters, redefining urban and spiritual experiences in the holy city.
Designed as a global model of sustainable urban development, the project aims to transform Makkah's central area and enhance services for pilgrims and visitors. It aligns with the Pilgrim Experience Program under Saudi Vision 2030, enriching spiritual, cultural, and hospitality offerings while improving infrastructure around Islam's holiest site.
Now, strategically located beside Al Masjid Al Haram, the development will feature indoor and outdoor prayer areas accommodating up to 900,000 worshippers. It will integrate with public transport networks, blending Mecca's traditional architecture with modern design to ensure comfort, accessibility, and preservation of the city's rich historical identity, which is so important.
And the King Salman Gate will include residential, cultural, and service facilities with 19,000 square meters dedicated to rehabilitating heritage zones. The project aims to enhance visitors' experiences while promoting sustainability and innovation in line with the kingdom's broader urban transformation agenda.
Now, developed by Ru'a Al Haram Al Makki Company, a public investment fund subsidiary. The project will contribute to economic diversification by creating over 300,000 jobs by 2036. The company's focus on sustainable resource management will help alleviate development standards around the Grand Mosque for future generations. I think that with this story, much more than the fact that, it's for the tourists, I think that this entire project is for the people of Saudi Arabia. I saw this quote somewhere, Majid, on my Instagram that basically was saying much more than the tourists, enjoying the beautiful sights of a country, it should be the local people. Now, I think that with a project like this, it's so important that they're building on something like this because, you're showing your people that, hey, yes, we're building Neom. Yes, we are welcoming so many Western tourists who may not, particularly agree with our culture, but we are still moving ahead with the cultural values that we have preserved for over hundreds of years. That's what I see this project as. I see it as for the people of Saudi Arabia, and I think that's something amazing.
And it's very important because when you go to the pilgrimage, inshallah, I've been there for Umrah, not for Hajj. Hajj is way bigger has a way bigger scale and more number of people. But I think I saw the number that it was 18 million people last year. And they're pilgrims over Hajj and Umrah both. But now they're planning to make it 30 billion. Very important because it's one of the reasons that everyone goes there. It's the holiest site in the world. It's called the House of God in Islam, House of Allah. So it's very important that they increase the capacity of people who can go there. So this development right next to the holiest mosque, it's great. 900,000 more people can pray there. So it's going to become bigger and better. I remember we shared one clip from
Mo
Mo show.
vlogs.
The
No,
Mo
not
show.
Mo vlogs, sorry.
And he was talking to one of the people who is related to this, and the clip was like, "Oh, it's very difficult to manage so many people, so Saudi should get credit for it." And to be honest, when you go there, you actually see that they deserve credit for it, because when it comes to religion, it's a very spiritual, emotional journey that you make there.
I remember
You
what
need
that guy
literally
said now.
everything, right?
He said that, he said the Umrah, that, going to Mecca, it's
They don't, but usually they do. But if you're caught as a non-Muslim inside, it's going to be around that area where you can accommodate people. You can create different roads or overheads or undergrounds. It's the Muslims.
It's so interesting that you say it from that perspective, Majid, because for me, like, this entire story that a country can open up while maintaining its cultural heritage.
Yeah.
And I think that in business, it's something.
It says Ghita. So let's stick to the Arabic pronunciation. It's Ghiza Holding, I think. And we cover Multiply Group.
Will blend 2.0's energy, and finance expertise multiplies AI-driven consumer platform.
Value.
Now, the merger will be executed through a sure swap mechanism, expanding multiple person right under His Highness Sheikh Tahnoon, the UAE's national security advisor, who is the chairman of International, came here alone with a suitcase, just founded a consultancy company. She's a foreigner in the company. This was 20 years ago. And for her...
All these companies, and they're going to have a bigger market share. And the funny thing is that when this company gets listed as a single entity now, the share prices will go crazy. We'll have a picture if it works for them, but everything works for IHC because it's such a big company. So whatever they do, they have years and years, at least decades of experience doing all of that.
Make sure to follow us across all social media channels at Smashi Business and stay ahead with our daily newsletter. You'll find the subscription link in the description.